The Stranger was written during the latter part of 1976, early part of 1977. I was living back in New York City, and I was looking for the right producer. And I met with George Martin, the Beatles producer, but he didn't want to use my band. You know, look, who the heck am I to tell George Martin, oh, no, you're not right. That's not right. I want to use my own guys. He produced the Beatles. I mean, the guy was a brilliant, genius producer. You got to imagine up at the Columbia Records, I hadn't had a successful album at that point. Here it is, 1977. My wife was managing me, and here I am passing on George Martin producing my album. So you got to imagine a little red pencil going through my name on the record company roster. This guy's nuts. But I ended up working with a man who, was my mentor in a way, Phil Ramone. And he got it right away. He came to see me at Carnegie Hall, play with my band, my road band, and he got it. He got the raw energy out of that. And that's what he wanted to translate onto a recording. And it turned out that it was a good choice. Even George Martin came to me afterwards and said, you were right. That was a good move. Moving Out, that's funny. I started writing Moving Out, and I had subconsciously written a song that somebody else had written melodically. The lyrics go, Anthony works in the grocery store, saving his pennies for someday. I wanted to write about a guy named Anthony, but I didn't have the melody yet. So the melody went like this, the original melody. Anthony works in the grocery store, saving his pennies for someday. Mama Leone left a note on the drummer, threw his sticks at me. He goes, that's Neil Sedaka, Laughter in the Rain. I said, shit. I wrote all these lyrics and I can't even use that melody. Damn. I didn't realize it. And I had to change the whole melody. So it became, Anthony works in the grocery, but it's the same pentameter, same rhythm. Saving his pennies for someday. But so I have to thank Neil Sedaka for at least giving me the rhythmic outline. Just the Way You Are was written in 1977 when I was writing the Stranger album. And I had an idea for a melody that I dreamt. I dreamt the melody. Da 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 ba da be do 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 do. And that's a nice idea for a melody, a song melody. Mm-hmm. But I dreamt it and then I forgot it. And it was driving me crazy. For weeks, I couldn't think of what that was. And I was in the middle of a business meeting with an attorney and an accountant. It was kind of a boring meeting. And all of a sudden, this thing popped into my head that I had dreamt. I said, there it is. It's back. I got it. And I said, guys, I got to leave. So I walked from the meeting, was in Manhattan, back to my apartment to get to a keyboard. And I'm trying to keep it in my head. Da, 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 da. Don't go crazy. Don't be stupid. Don't forget this song. And bailout lyrics. Anything. Just remember it. Remember. And I got home and then I wrote it out. It's a sentiment I think almost anybody wants to hear. That you're loved just the way you are. I love you just the way you are. You don't have to change. But that was another song that got interpreted as misogynistic. Oh, he doesn't want her to change. She can't color her hair. He wants her chained up to the stove, barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. I said, no. Don't go changing to try and please me. People forget these things. They can perceive as, if they don't like what I do, they'll go, yeah, he hates women. Look at this. Don't change. Stay the way you are. The same old someone that he knew. Wow, he really doesn't like her. Don't change for me. You want to change for yourself, fine. But you don't have to change for me because I'm happy exactly the way you are. That's why I love you in the first place. I get asked often what was the inspiration for Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, which is actually 3 or 4 or maybe 5 musical segments which are cobbled together. And I got the idea to do that with the different songs I had for Scenes from an Italian Restaurant from the Beatles album Abbey Road. On the B side, which it started out with... I think that's all they wrote with that song, and then they had to go do something else. So the next song in the lineup is. That was another song they had. Then after that, there's oh, that magic feeling, nowhere to go, just like a piece of a song. Oh, that magic feeling, nowhere to go, nowhere to go. And they go into a couple of chords. Now what? How about this one? Then they go into, what do we got next? One sweet dream, pick up the bags, get in the limousine. Soon we'll be away from here. Step on the gas and wipe that tear away. One sweet dream, now what came true? Here's an idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All the children go. They're just all fragments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What else you got? Are you gonna be in my dreams tonight? Drum solo. Okay, Ringo, you do something. Oh yeah. All right. Are you gonna be in my dreams tonight? What else you got? This could be the ending. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. Let's put an ending on it. Whatever it is. Got anything else? How about this little fragment? Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she doesn't have a lot to say. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, and she changes from day to day. And that's how that song got written. They only came in with little pieces. They didn't do all their homework. They did a little bit of the homework. So the producer, George Martin, who was a brilliant, brilliant musician, figured out, wait a minute, we can kind of just tie all these fragments together. We can sew them together if we use the right thread and the right sewing machine with an orchestra. And they did it. I had an idea for a song that was called The Ballad of Brenda and Eddie. Brenda and Eddie were the popular daddies and the king and the queen of the prom, riding around the car top down the radio. So, but that's not enough. I need something else. So I had a piece of something that went. I'll start with that. It's a nice introduction. A bottle of white, a bottle of red, perhaps a bottle of a rosé instead. And I had kind of part of a song, in an Italian restaurant. Okay, now what? Well, I want a piece of music that connotates time going by. Okay, like in a movie when they flip calendar pages. January, February, 1965, 1966, just a musical interlude. 1972. Now what? Then I had a fragment of a song called Things Are Okay in Oyster Bay. Things are okay in Oyster Bay. Me and Bob and a meatball hero, fishing poles and onion rolls, playing on the piano all day. There's a yell at the old doorbell. Brian is there with a bottle of whiskey. Get in the mood for Chinese food. Yabba dabba doo bobby. Okay, so that'll be the little Dixieland part, and then it goes into the instrumental. Go ahead, gotta get out of this. Here comes the ballad of Brenda and Eddie. Brenda and Eddie with the popular steadies and the king and the queen and the prom. So we end the whole ballad of Brenda. And there we are waving Brenda and Eddie goodbye. Oh, 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 oh. Now this is called symphonic reiteration. Gotta get back to the beginning. Here we go with the original theme. Where the audience goes crazy. Ah, I know that part. And I go back to the original theme, which kind of ties up what happened with Brenda, and it becomes a whole suite of songs. But it's how you tie them together. And Phil Ramone came up with some brilliant ways with orchestration to tie all those disparate entities together. And it's one of the most popular songs we do live. We've seen from an Italian restaurant. It's symphonic. I visited my father in Vienna. I was very moved by my visit there. And I wanted something to sound Viennese, very European, very stately. I came up with this intro. You're so ambitious for a juvenile, but Dad, if you're so smart, tell me why are you still so afraid? It's in a high key, so it's hard to sing in the morning. But it's to me, it's very Bertolt Brecht, Kurt Weill, almost like Three Penny Opera kind of stuff. Middle Europe, very Viennese.
Hello, little boy. Hello, little girl. Welcome to my castle.
That kind of thing. Only the Good Die Young. I wrote that song on the road. I was on tour. We were opening up for the Beach Boys. We were in Knoxville, Tennessee. There was a piano in the room. I don't know why. I hadn't asked for it, but there it was. And I started writing a song, like a reggae song. And I wrote it like a reggae. Come on, Virginia, don't let me wait. The Catholic girls, you start much too late. Sooner or later, come down to fate. Might as well be the one. And I tried to have the band play it that way. And the drummer, Liberty, threw his sticks at me. And he says, the closest you've been to Jamaica is the Long Island Railroad stop on the way to New York. That's true. I don't really know anything about it, but I just thought that it was a rhythm that would work, and so Phil and Liberty and me sat around and thought about what's going to work. Well, we came up with a shuffle against a straight four. Instead of worked really well, because it's good rock and roll rhythm in there. Come on, Virginia, don't let me wait. You Catholic girls, stop much too late. And the lyric worked on it too, and we had a lot of resistance from radio on that one. It was banned, but it wasn't really about religion. It was about lust. That was the whole point. And I liked his style of singing very much. I wanted to write a song that I thought a guy like Gordon Lightfoot would sing, which is she can kill with a smile, she can wound with her eyes, she can ruin your faith with her casual lies, and she only reveals what she wants you to see. Well, she hides like a child, but she's always a woman to me. I'm trying to sing it like Gordon Lightfoot because I like his voice. He had a particular kind of vibrato. La 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 dee dee dee, la da doo doo dee doo. And I'm just a big fan. She's Always a Woman. Okay, that was on the Stranger album that was written about 1977. I had an idea for a melody. I was living in Manhattan at a building called the Landmark, which is 59th Street, just off of 2nd Avenue, by the 59th Street Bridge. And I was living on the 35th floor. And I had this idea for a melody, and I didn't want to forget it, so I needed to come up with some kind of lyrics so I could remember the pentameter and the rhythm of the notes. Da 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 da. So the first words I came up with, da 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 da, the view from the 35th floor, and I was able to remember the melody. But however, in my head, I knew, well, that's not going to be the lyric. I'm not going to write about the view from the 35th floor because I'm basically looking at Queens. So it says, da 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 da. She's always a woman to me. At the time, the woman I was married to was in the music business. She was one of the few women who were in an executive position, and she was taking a lot of heat for it. And I don't know, people thought that song was somehow misogynistic. Okay, she can kill you with a smile, she can stab you, she can do all these terrible things. The point of the song was, okay, she can wound with her eyes, she can ruin your faith with her casual lies, she'll only reveal what she wants you to see. She hides like a child, but she's always a woman to me. They keep forgetting that part of it. It's like, okay, you bitch about this and you can bitch about that. But hey, when she comes home, she's a woman to me. I don't care what she does to you in business. That's how the business world is. So what are you fetching about?